It's now starting to rain and it looks like it's gonna quickly turn into a downpour. What's going on, guys? I'm in this beautiful area, covered in bugs. Beautiful area covered in bugs. And I wanted to make a video. There's my M2 over there. And I wanted to make a kind of interesting video. And the video is about why I think it's really difficult to succeed as a car YouTuber. And I want to be covering more specifically one specific topic in that idea. There's a lot of reasons why one might not be great at car YouTube, but there's one specific thing that I want to talk about that I don't think too many people really talk about, because you have the obvious things like, oh, it's easier if you have a Lamborghini or a Ferrari to make car videos because it's more interesting than, you know, a BMW M2 or a Toyota Corolla or whatever. But I think there's something else. I think there's something a bit more difficult. Let me set up the tripod and get into it. Well, I was gonna set up my tripod, but then it was just too windy and I just couldn't find a good spot to set it up, and that really kind of goes into the reason why I think it's so difficult in YouTube. And that is, you have to, and it's the same for pretty much all YouTube videos out there, you have to make good quality videos. Like, your audio has to be on point, your video quality has to be pretty good. Everything has to, and obviously you need a good topic and all that stuff, but I think from a production quality standpoint and just in general, I think it's very difficult to make a good car video. And the real reason why I think that is because unfortunately, and I'm speaking for myself and probably a lot of car YouTubers out there that are a bit smaller, maybe not so much the large ones that have teams and stuff, but for the single kind of YouTuber, I think it's very difficult because we really have to take on a one-take mentality. And as you can hear by all the traffic behind me driving by, I'm just kind of make and do the best I can with the audio I'm gonna get here and the scenery, and it is what it is. And that is the problem with car YouTube, is it's very difficult to get a perfect shot, a perfect take on anything you record. If you're doing a video at a desk, you know, doing a tutorial how to do something on the computer, or you just have a tripod set up at home and you're recording, playing guitar or whatever, it's very easy to get the perfect shot because you set it up, you do a quick 1-2 minute clip, you play it back, you test it, you make sure it looks good, and then you adjust from there and keep going. Unfortunately, in the car world, it's not that simple. It's very difficult to gauge how your shot is going to look until you go home, until you plug in the chip into the computer, until you open up the footage, see what you have really. And that's why it's so difficult to be a car YouTuber, because everything has to really be done perfectly in one take, maybe 2, maybe 3 takes in some situations depending what you're recording. But God, these bugs are killing me. Bugs, man, ridiculous. Winter is coming and I'm so glad, because all these bugs are gonna die. But getting back to it, another thing is scripting. Most YouTube videos that do really well that you watch on YouTube are scripted. That just is the way, it's just how it is. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a good thing because you can really get your points across. Yeah, see, now I got bad, like, it's like a cloud and I can't get good lighting, and it's just a disaster recording this video even, but it really proves a point though. But going back to scripting, it's a good thing that most videos on YouTube are scripted, because it's very easy to forget points that you want to talk about. And if you just wing a video, you're probably gonna miss something, you're gonna ramble, then you gotta edit out all the ums and ahs, and it's a horrible pain to do. Whereas if you're sitting at a desk, it's like, perfect, okay, we read off this one line. Hi guys, how are you? Well, what's going on today? Today we're gonna be recording this video. We're talking about this. This is how you do step 1, step 2. And if you mess something up, you just redo that line. Or you just do 5 takes of that line and whatever you gotta do. When you're in a car, you can't follow a script very easily. I can't read a piece of paper, I can't read my phone, I can't pull over every 2 seconds to read the next sentence of what I have to say. And it makes it very difficult because, again, you have to record everything in 1 or maybe 2 takes. and hope that you nailed everything you wanted to talk about, hope that all the points you wanted to cover came off the way you wanted to. And it sucks because the reason I'm making this video is because last week I recorded 3 videos in pretty much one go. I was thinking, okay, perfect, I can record these 3 videos and boom, I'll be ahead for a little bit. Come to find out, once I get home and look at the footage, all the audio is messed up because the wind buffeting on the GoPro kept focusing my voice in and out, and the wind, it kept like going back and forth, so the footage really wasn't all that useful. If I have a clip of it left, I'll put it in here so you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not doing this video to complain about people crossing the yellows. I'm doing this video to kind of talk about, from a car enthusiast point of view, why you shouldn't cross the double yellows. But that's part of the problem, is I can't spot check stuff to make sure it works. I can't make sure that, all right, everything is in frame perfectly. I have a little window here on my GoPro, which is phenomenal to get a good idea of the shot. And now, I kid you not, it's starting to rain. Yeah, it's now starting to rain, and it looks like it's gonna quickly turn into a downpour. So this is what I'm talking about. This is why it's so hard to succeed on YouTube. Everything is one take or nothing. Like, this is what happens when you try to do anything. You try to record a video. Unexpected stuff like this happens, and it's very difficult to adapt to it. So let's hop in the car and continue recording this another way. Well, guys, this is how I have to continue recording the rest of this video, via a POV first person shot. I have my audio over here. I don't know if I have that in frame. Yeah, this is why it's difficult to be a car YouTuber, guys, because of stuff like this. Because if you don't get something in one take, like, stuff like this happens, and it's difficult. So what I was trying to say is, with wind buffeting, the issue I had was the audio kept like moving back and forth and focusing. So now I'm essentially recording the video up here on my GoPro, but the audio I'm recording on my phone, and then I'm gonna sync the two and just use the phone audio. It's obnoxious that I have to do it that way, but unfortunately that's just the way it has to be done. So let's go for a drive, and I'm gonna kind of continue talking a little bit more. You can see all my stuff over here, and it's just a big mess. This rain was not forecasted, and it has ruined all of my plans. So now that we're on the road, we can talk about the other aspect of why it's very difficult to succeed in YouTube as a car YouTuber. Kind of going back to the idea of making quality content. With the one take mentality that we have to take, when stuff like this happens, we have to just endure what we have. Like, what we have is what we have. When life gives you lemons or a rainstorm, you take the lemons and the rainstorm, and you get what you get. And with that said, everything that, oh, and now the rain is like stopping. That's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful that the rain has now decided to stop. This is also why it's really fun to be a car YouTuber, because you have to endure stuff like this and figure it out, right? So when you have a lot of traffic or rain and you want to do a certain kind of video, like if I want to do a video, for example, talking about, I don't know, the 0 to 60 time on this car, I can't exactly go to any street I find and just rip it from 0 to 60 10 times with a camera set up and not draw attention, and usually negative attention. And that's why it's also very difficult, is a lot of conditions have to be perfect. Your lighting, you have to hope for the best and hope that the lighting is gonna look good. Sometimes you can get a good idea of what kind of lighting you're gonna have depending on the kind of video you're making. But if you're doing a POV video like this, or if my camera was set up on the windshield there or there, really I'm at the mercy of the GoPro to decide whether I have good lighting or not. I can't change the settings on the fly without pulling over every 2 seconds, which realistically is just not, it's not realistic. So going back to trying to make that perfect quality video, if you're sitting at home in an office, you can get the lighting perfect. You can get the perfect house plant as decoration behind you, lit up beautifully. You can make sure every perfect leaf is facing the camera. You make sure every speck of dust is clean and clear. You can't do that in a car. You can't, like, I can't do that right now while I'm driving. I can't make sure that I have the most beautiful scenic mountain views. What is that? Is that a dog? Hey, buddy, you gotta get out the road there, buddy. You shouldn't be there. You're gonna get hit by a car, bud. But like, if I was ripping it through here, which ideally, of course, no, I shouldn't be doing, but if I was, then all of a sudden I got a dog I gotta worry about. Like, all these external factors affect your video. Like I said, I think it's something that's not very talked about in the car YouTube space, because the most common thing that is probably talked about is, oh, you need a good team, you need all these drone shots, you need a nice Porsche or a Lamborghini, otherwise no one cares about your channel or your videos. And like right now, I have good open roads, so I can record pretty much whatever I want to record. Like, I was just over here not too long ago recording Brake Force display as a video, and kind of a cool small little coding mod to the car. And it had good conditions to make that video. I tried to make that like 2-3 weeks ago, and I had an issue with my tail light going out, and I'm not going to go into all the details of that. There's a whole video on that if you want to watch it, because it happened twice, one on one side, then eventually on the other side. I didn't make a video on the other side happening, but point being, things come up, and it's very, I feel like I'm going around in circles, talking about how difficult it can be. And again, the circles right back to scripting, because if I had a script with every single point I wanted to talk about, I would have done so, and this video would have been a lot cleaner, would have been a lot nicer. I wouldn't have had all this rain, and the video probably would have been done by now instead of it being more of a ramble at this point. So you see what I'm saying? Like, I hope this video in itself is a good example of why it's difficult to make good quality car videos. Why it's so hard to do that. So that's probably gonna be everything that I really want to talk about in this video. And maybe I missed something, I'm sure I did. But as far as I'm concerned right now, that's probably gonna be it for this one. So if you like this video, leave me a like, comment your thoughts. If you do car YouTube or if you do other YouTube, what are your thoughts on this? And subscribe if you want to see more videos. It'll be greatly appreciated as I push towards getting 1,000 subscribers and becoming monetized. But that's going to be all for this one. So thank you guys so much for watching this disaster of a video. Until next time.